Hi, today we're just doing a quick video on this Govoni spring compressor. Govoni have been making this style of spring compressor for over 10 years. This model is the GO325. This model is 2500 kg compression force. They have a few different models to suit different budgets or needs, but this is one of the most popular. You can see them all on our website or on Govoni's website. So it's air operated. Up to a compression force up to 2500 kgs. It's very safe and robust machine. There's a safety cage around it. The machine won't operate unless the cage is closed with a safety switch. The cage has to be closed for the machine to operate. There's 4 holes on the frame for it to bolt it to the ground. In this case it's not bolted to the ground because we're just getting it ready to go out for delivery. A few different ways then the springs can be compressed. On the bottom part, to hold the bottom part of the strut, this is one option of the vise. So this vise can be mounted here, or there's 2 different heights you can mount it on there for different lengths of struts or lengths of springs. So for example, you're putting the strut in like that and clamping it here, and there's 2 different position holes there, and these holes are stepped at different positions. So overall this gives you 4 different positions for different thickness struts. So that's the lower vise. This wouldn't be one of the most popular methods, but it's available and it comes with the machine as standard. Then the other option for the bottom of mounting the strut in is these lower brackets. You have 2 different sizes. Again, you can mount it in 2 different positions. I put this back here. There's storage slots here on the machine for storing them when they're not being used. So yeah, in this case we'll just compress this spring that we have here just for demo and just to show it operating. So in this case we're using the larger lower bracket. So you just hook it in on it like that and rotate it up. And close the frame. The arms here then are self-leveling to suit the contour of the spring. So when we're starting off, we have these screws loose so these can pivot. We have these locking screws at the back loose so these can move in and out. So the cage is closed, we can let down. Air operated on the cage. And go in then until we can find the closest possible coil to the top of the spring. Gently let it down until we get it barely touching the spring. Then we lock these screws and lock it back. And until it's loose. So now we can open off the nut here if we wanted to and pull out the shock. Just open it here just to show. This is after being loosened here already. So we go replace the shock, replace the top mount, replace the bump stops, whatever. Want to replace the spring, then we need to release it and just put the new spring in here. Just put that back up into position. From there. Back on. Just make sure we're in the right position here on the spring at the bottom. And the right position position on the top. We'll finish locking it up fully after, because we'll be locking this one again, make sure it's all sitting in, and then just make sure it's after clicking in properly down here. Loosen these, swing out the arms when you're done. So that's doing it with that method, with this upper claws and the lower bracket. This is the most popular method. This optional bracket top plate then is used in cases where you want to, in certain cases, like some Mercedes, BMW, Tesla, I think some Nissan models and Citroens, you won't have the option to do it with this, so you need to use this style of a top plate. So you remove these claws. Remove the upper claws. So this style claw and the two different lower brackets will do about 90% of the stuff you're doing. And then this optional top plate is for certain models, makes and models that this is needed for. Like we said, some Mercedes, Nissan, some BMW models, and a couple of Tesla models. So when you're using this bracket, in this case, you'll have to move it down to the lower position. And just for easiness sake, I'm just, instead of trying to hold this up, I'm just going to let the machine to help it hold it in place for me while I'm putting the screws in. Mounted there then. This top plate, if you can zoom in on this, has so it's universal. It's for some of the makes and models that we mentioned earlier, but it's fully universal. You have all these different slots and different size holes, and you can rotate it then to line up with the holes. So in this case, I'm just going to let it down a little bit more so we can line it up with the holes on top. So that's the closest up there. So then you screw these onto the top of it. In some model struts, you have to put these spacers in between here, and then screws down from the top. In our case, if you don't, you can just use these as spacers. for this strut. There's no need for this plate, but just showing it as an example for how to use it when it is needed. So and just barely pinch them all. It doesn't have to be over tight. And lock these up here. Let me settle in here. These are loose. Let it down another little bit. Lock the arms. And same story as before. We're loose. Then again, if we want, now we can remove the shock. Remove the shock, then release it, do the spring, do the bearing, whatever you're doing. Turn everything back up. Off. And we're done. So that's about it on the spring compressor. There's other optional bits then we have for the using with the spring compressor, or even with your already existing spring compressors. These are spline bits and Allen keys and sockets for opening the top shock mounts. So say for example this can fit down in the middle. You can hold the center shaft in the shock and then loosen it here with a spanner. So it's a complete set there. And then this unit then for shocks where the piston won't stay out for you, keeps retracting back in. So you use this puller to pull it out, and then a plastic clamp to hold it out. And then these are internal coil spring compressor for certain model vehicles with multi-link rear suspension, where if you want to dismantle the rear suspension, you have to compress the spring in situ in the car. So that's, go ahead and take a look at our website for more information on these products. Thank you.